And by using Iowa's sales tax exemption, it was an approach that our retail partners have really praised as simple and a practical way to ensure that SNAP purchases are healthier. More importantly, I think these changes really empower families to take charge of their health and to achieve SNAP's foundational goals of meeting their traditional needs. So once again, I just want to say thank you to Secretary Rollins and her team for making these initiatives possible. They've been incredible partners throughout the process. And Secretary Kennedy, we're looking at what we can do this next legislative session to adopt some of the MAHA policies as well. So I really appreciate the flexibility and the innovative approach that they've encouraged and allowed us to take. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kim Reynolds. Look forward to it. And Bobby said, wait, what are you doing Saturday? I said, it's a steer show. We're going to be showing 1,200-pound animals at the Iowa State Fair. So just to clarify, stay tuned. Next, Governor Patrick Morrisey of West Virginia, no greater warrior. Really, I think Secretary Kennedy, it was one of his first visits, was to visit you to talk about this in West Virginia. As the former Attorney General of West Virginia, watching you fight for the people of your state has been very inspiring. Congratulations today. You're one of the states that we're signing, and we're just so grateful for your leadership.
Thank
Governor
you so
Morrisey.
Much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry about that. Well, thank you very much, Secretary Rollins, and it's wonderful to be here today. What a beautiful building to be at the Department of Agriculture. It's an incredible place, and I think everyone up here on the stage, Secretary Kennedy, Governor Reynolds, she's been a real leader among the governors for a long time. Commissioner Makary, they're doing a lot of great work, and work that's long overdue. I know that the collective group here, their leadership, and their commitment to making America healthy again, I think it's already making a huge difference in our country. And I'd also like to make sure we thank the person responsible for it all. President Trump has picked really good people within his cabinet and these agency heads, and he's giving them the ability to enact fundamental change that really help make America reach her potential. It's inspiring, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Now, there's no way around it when it comes to West Virginia. Unfortunately, we're ranked at or near the bottom of a lot of the tough public health metrics. We lead the country, or near leading in the country, in obesity, in diabetes, in a lot of the chronic conditions that have really been disabling our people. Usually at the top of the list for more people who are disabled in our state than virtually any other. Our kids, they're diagnosed with ADHD at rates that are well above the national average. And we have one of the lowest life expectancy rates in the United States. Now that's the bad news. And I believe in telling the truth to the American people about where we are, because that's going to make the rise all the more better when West Virginia is able to reach your potential and to get healthy again. The good news today is that we all have the power to change it. And I think the people on stage here today, the wonderful staffs who are working at the federal level and the state level to make that happen, I think you're going to start to see some needle movement in all these categories. You see, I want all West Virginians to have happy, long, healthy, and purposeful lives, spending time with friends and family and doing things that matter. Earlier this year, alongside Secretary Kennedy in Martinsburg, I signed legislation making West Virginia the first state in the country to restrict the number of the artificial dyes in the schools. We need to clean up and get the crap out of the food. And in West Virginia, we're taking the lead. That law has gone into effect. It's already started right now. And beginning this year, kids in West Virginia will no longer be exposed to these harmful dyes and chemicals at the schools. And there'll be more changes in the future. We're very proud of this achievement, and we're happy to work with other states and school districts across the country to see additional changes that help people get healthier. Now, during that visit in Martinsburg, we talked about a number of other pillars of health that my administration would focus on to benefit the health of West Virginians. Along with cleaning up the food, we're trying to promote fitness and making healthy food choices. I'm happy to report, Secretary Kennedy, that our Mountaineer Mile efforts, that's a statewide fitness challenge that we asked our citizens to be involved in. It's spreading all across West Virginia, and there's a Mountaineer Mile in every one of our state parks, and I can volunteer. I have followed through to do the Mountaineer Mile every single day since I met with you. I'm going to do a lot more of that. Making sure that we're healthy, exercising is a core pillar. But there's more that we need to do, and that's part of why we're here today. We know that the changes to the SNAP program, they're long overdue. And that's why I'm so happy to work with all of our federal partners to make sure that the tax dollars is going toward nutritious foods. I'm always fond of saying that the SNAP, the N for SNAP, it stands for nutrition. But unfortunately, over a long period of time, that wasn't always the case. So I'm happy now that in West Virginia, taxpayers are not going to be subsidizing soda and these sugary drinks. Things that have no nutritional value and are directly linked to obesity, diabetes, and a lot of other terrible healthcare outcomes. If a law says that a program is meant to help people get a more nutritious diet, then that's going to be the standard. That's what we're going to work on. So I'm happy to be here today and to celebrate the growth of the MAHA movement and all the amazing things that Secretary Rollins, Secretary Kennedy, and the entire Trump administration is doing. They're aligning words with actions, and we're not stopping here. In the future, we're not only going to be focusing on our food, I'm looking forward to working with Secretary Rollins on the work requirements. We have that for Medicaid and for SNAP, and I want to make sure that West Virginia is out in front on that. A state with one of the lowest workforce participation rate in the nation. I want to get more people to work, and I'm really excited to partner to make that happen. This administration is making big things happen, and I'm eager to talk about it. So thank you for everyone, and God bless our great country and the wonderful state of West Virginia.
Well done. Thank you. And now it's an honor, one of the country's greatest doctors, researchers, scientists, and now the leader of the Food and Drug Administration, Dr. Marty Makary.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Secretary Rollins. And it's so great to be here. This is a historic day in the United States. This begins the end of the government subsidization of our obesity, diabetes, insulin resistance epidemic. And it got pretty bad. Look at where we are today. 40% of our nation's kids now have a diagnosed chronic disease. 31% have diabetes, prediabetes, or insulin resistance. We can't keep just talking about the price of insulin. We also have to talk about what we are feeding children. We need amazing treatments, and this FDA is committed to delivering cures and meaningful treatments. But we have to talk about nutrients and fiber, not just Ozempic and other medications to medicate our nation. We're medicating our nation's kids at scale. And so this is a historic day in the United States. And Secretary Kennedy, you've been talking about this, gosh, for a long time. You got me motivated, and it's just amazing to work in your leadership here. I hear people all the time from all different political persuasions say, you know, I'm not a Republican or Democrat or political, but I love the food stuff that they're doing. And Secretary Rollins, you have been the perfect partner, and watching you and the Secretary work together has been magical. And it's just amazing. Here we are, for the first time ever, not just talking about how to fund our broken healthcare system, but how to fix our broken healthcare system by finally getting at the root issue, and that is the health of the population, starting with children. And so people say to me, I love some of this MAHA stuff. And what else are you doing to make America healthy again? Well, as Governor Morrisey just said, we're just getting started. We're now talking about ultra-processed foods. And Deputy Secretary Diamantis, who's here, has put out an RFI now, a request for information, where we're going to have a consensus definition of ultra-processed foods so we can help educate people in a meaningful way instead of misleading them with the broken food pyramid misinformation. We're rewriting those dietary guidelines with USDA and HHS. We're doing an inventory of all the chemicals in our food supply that are banned outside of the United States and asking, what are the most concerning chemicals here? We are cleaning up infant formula. We took action to remove the 9 petroleum-based food dyes. We are reevaluating and addressing the broken GRAS standard. We are talking about medical devices now and how we can prioritize medical devices that empower people with good information about their own glycemic load. You know, most of the chronic diseases we see in medicine are really related to a couple basic principles: insulin resistance and general body inflammation. And what drives that? Sugar and junk food. We're not talking about complex carbohydrates and things that come out of the ground. We're talking about ultra-processed foods that drive up the glycemic index. We're addressing the poisons in the U.S. food supply. And today, with this amazing moment, for the first time in American history, talking about taxpayer funding of our chronic disease epidemic in children, addressing the SNAP program to restore it to its mission, to talk about the N in SNAP, which is nutrition. So I'm just I'm so thankful to be a part of this historic day in America. It's been great to watch, especially with Governor Reynolds and Governor Morrisey. The great American experiment was that states would be the laboratory of innovation, and we're witnessing that right here today at this table. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. Well done. Well done. All right, everybody, we are going to sign the waivers right now. We'll take some pictures on each of the states, then we'll come back and answer questions.
Yeah, you too. Have a little bit of fun.
Governor Morrisey will do West Virginia first.
Thank you.
All right. You're so welcome. Number 2, we will do Governor Jared Polis's request approved of Colorado. Again, this is not red or blue, Republican or Democrat. We are discussing and working with every state. So really excited to continue to work with Governor Polis, Colorado. Third on the list is Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis. So grateful to Florida for continuing to be such a leader in so many things, including the SNAP waivers. Number 4, Louisiana, wonderful Governor Jeff Landry, who was really hoping to be here today but couldn't make it, but here is Louisiana. Number 5, Governor Kevin Stitt of Oklahoma, another great friend of freedom and real reform, Oklahoma. And finally, no offense to anyone here, but the greatest state, Texas, Governor Greg Abbott and his wonderful team in Texas. Here we have Texas. All right, thank you, everybody. We'll head back to the podium and we will take some questions. Thank you. All right, first question. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Cheyenne with ABC News. Food regulation and more broadly in the states, but also the SNAP waivers, has historically been a policy approach taken on mostly by Democrats and criticized by Republicans as anti-state. Now nearly 10 Republican states have passed MAHA legislation. Secretary, can you talk about how you have convinced Republicans?
You know, I was at the governor's conference in Colorado last week, and I met with a whole string of Democratic governors, including Governor Polis, and they all committed to filing SNAP waivers and doing other MAHA legislation as well. They don't want to call it MAHA because they think that will that's become kind of a partisan brand, and I don't care what they call it. they want to protect their children. And there's no such thing as Democratic children or Republican children. There are children, and we should all care about them. And, I don't care what party you're in. There's been more enthusiasm to date from Republicans. You're right. Traditionally, it was a Democratic issue. And I'm very, very hopeful that more and more Democrats will continue to be in their party, but sign up to protect their children.
Secretary Rollins, thanks so much for doing this, and Skylar Woodhouse with Bloomberg News. I just wanted to check in. So the president released last week a flurry of trade deals and the different rates of different countries. In the ag space, we're approaching harvest season.
Right.
Crop prices for soybeans, they were down a little bit. I was just wondering if you could give an update on if you're still tracking, farmer aid, sort of how the administration is looking to protect farmers as we enter the harvest season, given that we're seeing these trade deals.
No, I appreciate you saying that. Obviously, the first thing I think it's important to note is this president made a promise in February to realign the entire world economy around America and Americans first. As we are renegotiating trade deals around the world, historically, on average, American ag products are charged 15% on average as they move into other countries. We, in fact, charge on average 5% as their ag products moved into America. So obviously, that realigning and the idea of especially American farmers and ranchers bowing to the altar of other countries' tariff regimes and tariff structures ended when President Trump announced on Liberation Day. But having said that, and to your question, which is a very good one, the importance of understanding the uncertainty of what this means for our agriculture producers, especially for our row croppers, some really great ones from Iowa, others from West Virginia, across this country, when they were already operating on such thin margins, barely making it day to day, month to month, year to year. We've lost almost 200,000 family farms in just the last 4 or 5 years. The cost of inputs went up 30% under the last administration. Those margins are very precarious. And what we have said and what the president has committed to from day one is that this opening of markets around the world is unprecedented. Ultimately, our agriculture community, our farmers and ranchers are entering into a golden age of agriculture. But in this time of readjustment, there will be some uncertainty. So as we move into harvest season, the commitment remains that, just as we've been saying for the last few months, that if in fact farmers are hurt in the short term while we work for the long-term prosperity, that the USDA will be there to step in.
Secretary
Thank you.
Rollins.
Yes, ma'am.
Marty with Politico. The MAHA report is due out later this month, and a lot of MAHA advocates I've spoken to have said that they want to see this administration ban or limit pesticides. Will the MAHA report ban or limit pesticides or make policy recommendations to do so?
I'll answer that, and then if Secretary Kennedy wants to lean in, there is no question that the use of crop protection tools remains one of the most important tools, if not the most important, for our farmers to thrive and to, as I mentioned, to remain prosperous. There is no chance that our current system of agriculture can survive without those crop protection tools, including the fertilizers that you mentioned. Having said that, and I don't want to put words in Secretary Kennedy's mouth, so I'll let him answer if he wants to add anything, that the vision of moving America and supporting our farmers and ranchers and allowing a golden age of agriculture, we will continue to work together. Secretary Kennedy mentioned he and his team have met with 130 different groups representing the farming and ranching industry. I have been with him on a lot of those. We visited a farm together in Texas. I have rarely seen anyone more open to understanding and learning and talking to, and I've also heard him say that we can't compromise our farmers and their ability to feed and fuel and clothe the world. So I continue to look forward to working with him. The MAHA report the second part's coming to conclusion. We'll have announcements on that soon, but I feel very confident that his and our commitment to make sure that farmers are at the table remains paramount, and that the report will reflect that. I don't know, Secretary, if you want to add.
Nothing to add.
Okay, perfect. Perfect, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks so much, Allison Snyder with Lindell TV. It's been reported that Susie Wiles and Laura Loomer convinced President Trump to fire Drug Evaluation and Research Director Vinay Prasad
exploring gold star science and really improving drug vaccine review. Do you think this is going to be a detriment to MAHA and everything you guys are working to accomplish? And how can we be reassured that the new person incoming is not allowed to offer big pharma?
Well, first of all, the idea that he was pushed out by anybody is simply untrue. He saw some media headlines and didn't want to be a distraction. We have encouraged him to reconsider, and we're still doing that. And I am confident the FDA is going to continue to be strong. So the FDA is one of the greatest brands in the world, and it's going to continue to do that.
Secretary Kennedy, Luke Sarzecki with Inside Health Policy. So your proposed administration for Healthy America was not in the HHS Senate Appropriation Committee's funding bill, and I'm curious why that was.
Is this the reorg?
Yeah.
I mean, we're right now, we were held up by a court order on the reorg, but we're going through with the reorg. So whether it was in the, well, I'm not sure what the funding is from the Senate bill, but we're going through with the reorg.
Do you plan to get some of the MAHA priorities in that administration passed, or are you working on that?
I mean, we have full support from the president. He wants this done. He promised to make America healthy again, and he's going to do that. He called me last night. He calls me 3 or 4 times a week and says, "Where are you? Why are people healthier yet?" And so he's keeping me under pressure.
We have time for one more question.
Secretary Kennedy, Ray Rubin with the Washington Post. The Wall Street Journal reported that you're planning to dismiss all 16 members of the U.S. Preventive Task Force. Is that the case, and if so, what is your reasoning?
We have not made a decision. We're reviewing that now. The task force has done very little over the past 5 years. And we want to make sure that it is performing, that it is approving interventions that are actually going to prevent the health decline of the American public. And it hasn't, let me put it this way, it hasn't been stellar at doing that job. We're looking at the personnel, and we're making a decision now, but no decision's been made.
Okay, thanks, Press.
Thank you all. We're headed to the farmer's market, so y'all go buy some beef and dairy and produce. It'll be great, right across the street. Thank y'all for coming.
Nice to see you. Great event.
Thank you.